Hey, how you doing? Consulted by G Dot family. It is your man G Dot back with another inspirational, motivational, banging video. And today we're gonna be looking at why you should invest right now into the S&P 500 and into stocks. I know I said into twice, but let's get straight into the video.
So the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq have both pretty much had a full V-shaped recovery in the last 30 days, while Bitcoin has also done fairly well, where in the last 1 month, Bitcoin has gone from $66,000 to near $80,000 at the time of filming this video. Now, the main reason for all this appears to be a reaction to the US-Iran ceasefire extension. Even though the situation is still fragile, it still seems like right now investors are preemptively taking comfort from the truce extension and from the sense that the conflict may not immediately spiral into this broader global shock. On top of that, we've also been having strong corporate earnings that are helping the S&P 500 fuel this current rally, and the updates and momentum we're getting in AI is not slowing down either. Recently, we got Mythos, a Claude update that is reportedly one of the best AI models to now exist.
People don't understand why AI is getting pushed so much. AI is making everyone money, but at the end of the day, it's not only about the money. What I will say is, if you don't get in front of AI now, we're going to be behind the 8 ball. And that's why the United States of America is pushing so hard, because it's a competition essentially, because if we're not ahead on AI and we're not ahead on all these new applications, all these new things that are coming out, then we're going to fall behind. Our market is going to fall behind as a result, and we're going to lose our global dominance. People really don't think about these things, but we're competing against China. We're competing against Russia. Competing against other countries that are trying to get up to our level of superpower, because honestly, I don't even look at Russia as a superpower anymore. Like, they are kind of, I guess, on paper, but I really think it's just the United States and China. I think, though, you know what I'm saying, Saudi Arabia and Dubai, the Emirates, they kind of are playing their part as well, but I don't say they're a superpower. China, US, everyone's picking a side, but we got to compete.
Actually so good that they don't want to release it to the public, and it's the closest thing that I think we're seeing to the beginning of the movie Terminator. JP Morgan has also raised its year-end S&P 500 target, arguing that enthusiasm around AI is still strong. This here is one of the most simple explanations on why it feels like every dip we've had recently has been getting bought up aggressively in large cap US stocks and even with Bitcoin. However, one thing to keep in mind, guys, is that this rally we're having is not a everything is fixed kind of rally. Oil is still at high prices because supply risk in the Strait of Hormuz have not gone away. And folks, the ceasefire is not permanent, and this situation in Iran has not been fully resolved. Tensions in the Middle East are escalating as Iran reportedly also launches additional drone attacks targeting US warships. So despite this feeling like, yo, we are back, euphoria is here, if anything, it looks like we have more short-term relief from worst case fears plus earning strength, and this means this is not a full resolution of the macro risk. And I personally believe that this setup we're seeing here is still irrational, and that we can very easily see markets take a bigger dip once more. So by the end of this video, you'll have much more clarity on why the markets have been behaving the way it is and what the best moves that you should be making right now are. I
honestly feel like this is a result of people just having FOMO, and the AI boom really pushing everyone to be like, okay, we have to invest now. We have to get ahead of this. We have to go into these markets. Everybody's using AI. From banks, Amazon, to TikTok. I go on TikTok, they have AI now. AI is literally getting incorporated into everything. But I feel like we won't see the big rally until oil prices return back to normal. And that, you know, who knows when that'll happen. That's depends on the war and how everything goes with Iran. But once the oil prices return back to normal, we're going to see a lot of pumping in the market. So that's why I definitely will start getting ahead of it now, because if you get ahead of it now and you invest now, then you're going to make way more money when the market returns to its normal pushing form, and not in a recovery stage, but in a reaching new highs and reaching new flow stage.
Let's talk about why markets are moving up. And the answer to that is simply because markets, they are always just irrational, and rather, majority of the time, they are just greedy. What I really mean by that is humans at the end of the day, which are the investors that shape this market, are by nature gamblers and ones who want to make as much money as possible. The market currently moving up is showing clear signs that although the macro is not fully yet resolved, like war is still happening, as I've mentioned, things with inflation have not settled, and oil still being high, and a lot of the smart money that we have right now is just assuming that the whole conflict is resolved. Now, I can see both sides of the trade here, because despite war not being resolved, the point is the markets are going to be higher regardless on a higher time frame. A report that gathers insights from a global community of over 2 million retail investors stated this: 60% of retail investors think global stock markets are going to be much higher in 12 months. 44% of these people plan to invest at least $10,000 in the next 12 months. 57% of people believe Bitcoin's actually going to be higher than it is now in 12 months. And 44% of retail investors are planning full, complete portfolio overhauls, with about 59% of them increasing their cash reserve.
And that's the result of FOMO. People are scared of missing out because when the big boom happens, when the crypto boom happens, when the stock market booms, people are always like, damn, I should put my money in. Damn, I should put my money in. So now it's kind of becoming a pattern a little bit, because every year around Christmas time, the stocks go up because people are consuming more. And like he said, we shape the market. So if we are big on the market and are positive on the market and we think the market's going to go up and we're putting money into the market, then the market's going to go up. And like in a way, it's like manipulating the market, but it's the same thing with crypto. The cycle for crypto has pretty much been around the same time. Like we're going to go up towards the end of the year. And like it's going to be a consistent ramp up. We might have a dip in the summertime, but it's going to be a consistent ramp up to the end of the year. And then by the beginning of the year, we're going to have another dip. So it pretty much has been that cycle for the last few years. And now is the time to invest, because if the market is doing so good right now and people are this high in the market while we're still at war, then what do you think is going to happen when the war stops? Because we're not going to be at war forever.
Now, although the perfect scenario would be this, we get a 20% correction and dip in the market for all of us to load back on. A dip is not yet guaranteed, as I've stated in every single past video I've made. And ultimately, the better move is to just DCA or buy reoccurring amounts slowly every week back into the market. Look, folks, if you've done that since I started posting again earlier this year, you would already be up 30, 40, or even 50% or more on your portfolio. So before I get any further into this video, because there are some gems coming up, let me just save you guys a little bit of time. The left curve and right curve move that applies to pretty much everyone watching this video is to just systematically dollar cost average into the most asymmetric plays and keep some extra firepower and cash in your reserves in the case that we do get that bigger dip. This is because
dollar cost averaging is the key to success too, because a lot of people don't understand you can't just buy in with all your money, because if you buy in with all your money, if it dips, you're fucked. And making money depends on your average. If you have a lower average, you're going to make more money. If you have a higher average, you're going to make less money. That fundamental key right there will help you make money or make you lose money. Because if you see the market's going up and you see we're not getting any dips in the market, you can dollar cost average, but you want to be more cautious because you really want that dip. That's why he said we might see a dip, but don't depend on it. Because you still want to buy into the market. You don't want to miss out, but you don't want to go heavy while the market's up. You want to go heavy when the market's down. When you see red, you buy. You see green, cautious. So dollar cost average, but also only dollar cost average in the things that you can afford fully. If you can't afford it fully, never buy into it, or don't buy into it unless you can afford one fully, maybe in a week or maybe 2 weeks. But if you're trying to dollar cost average into Bitcoin, you're putting $50 in every week, that's stupid. Put that same money into Solana, put that same money into Matic, put that same money into AMD, put that same money into all these other coins or stocks that you can afford fully sooner or right now, and you'll make more money from it.
Historically, the market spends about 70% of its time in bull market conditions and 30% of those times in bear market conditions. And the S&P 500 has finished positive in roughly 7 out of the last 10 years. By continuing to just wait on the sideline and doing nothing till we get a big crash, you eliminate the upside for anyone who is in this wealth accumulation phase. And to be sidelined when we're seeing the greatest technological advancement of our lifetime with AI, robotics, and all the updates that are coming out, I think is the best move for you to make if your goal is how to not get rich in 2026 and beyond. Elon Musk posted last week on X that racked up 32 million views in just a few hours of him posting, which stated, "Universal high income via checks issued by the federal government is the best way to deal with unemployment caused by AI." Sam Altman, the creator of ChatGPT, has been pushing the same idea for the last 2 years and has evolved his version into what he calls universal basic wealth. The UK investment minister told the Financial Times last week that the British government is actively weighing UBI for workers being displaced by AI. So just take a moment, folks, to think about what they're actually saying. Billionaires and people who pretty much run this world now are telling you that in the near future, a huge chunk of this generation will not have jobs the way that our parents did, and that the federal government is going to cut them a monthly check, and that the AI productivity boom is going to generate enough abundance to even make those checks feel okay. So whether you believe that,
and that's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, because yes, they're going to be producing checks, But at what level of life will we be able to live with them producing these checks? Will we be able to live the life that you want to live, or are you going to be able to live the life that they want you to live? And it's most likely going to be live the life that they want you to live. So that's why you have to compare yourself now and do the work now and put in the work now, because once this AI boom happens, it's over. It's really a wrap, honestly, because once they start replacing all the cashiers and the stock shelf, the stock people that are stocking shelves with AI and robots and things of that nature, it'll be over with. Next is gonna be the call centers, all AI. Then it's gonna be the business associates, all AI. It's really gonna be the head people, the head honchos are really important people or people that can manage the AI. They're gonna get hired. All these remedial jobs, all these fast food, and all these, it's gonna pretty much be eliminated. I want to say 10 to 15 years. But the crazy part about that is, I feel like this is gonna push us to a point where we can become more self-sufficient. Not self-sufficient. We become more advanced as a society, because I feel like what's holding us back now is needing these jobs and needing these checks. But if we're making if the government and all these people are making so much money from AI, then they can give us a flat check every month to pay our basic necessities. Then we can also focus on things that matter more in the world, to becoming a better versions of ourselves and expand and accelerate our growth as humans in humanity. And maybe we'll be able to reach the stars sooner than we think.
Future is 5 years away from now, 15 years away, maybe 50 years from now. What you really have to understand is this: when all the smartest entrepreneurs of our generation all equally believe this is gonna happen, the smart move will be to just prepare in the case it does. So here are the two scenarios that's gonna happen. You do nothing, you're going to be a consumer in someone else's economy. You're going to be living on a government allowance. You rent from the people who built these machines that are going to take over your jobs, or you prepare now. You watch videos like this now, you continue to do your research, and you invest in the companies that are going to have the most upside, and diversify your finances, your assets, things like Bitcoin, gold, and even international stocks, or even growth stocks inside the US, to help protect you by having financial freedom.
If this is 100% true. Same thing I just said. Either you're going to be on the outside looking in or inside looking out. And I'd rather be on the inside looking out than the outside looking in. So you have to prepare yourself now. You have to start businesses now. You have to start taking advantage of social media, because that's one thing that AI will not replace, the social media. Because you can teach AI a lot of things. You can't make AI be creative for you. You cannot take our creativity and our imagination away from us. But use AI as a tool. Use these things as tools to help you grow and accelerate, because if you don't, someone else is going to do it for you, and they're going to have you working for them or you're living off their paycheck they allow you to take, and you're just going to be a robot or slave at that point. Never want to be in that position. This is a great video. I will be reacting to more videos like this, because I want to spread the knowledge, and I want people to understand you have a choice. You don't have to do what they tell you to do. You can do what you want to do.